realised that people seeing this whack are only going to watch it now. I'm very new to the live streaming on YouTube. We can create a poll here for people, and then we'll get into a bit of research, and hopefully people join in. Need to grow my watch hours, like I mentioned, and then also would love to help some people live to demonstrate some skills. That'd be pretty cool, I suppose. Not even I suppose, that would be. Alright, what addiction have you got? Let us know. Let me know and I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you. Alright, tippy tappy, tip tip tip. First one, of course. Cocaine. Other drugs. Porn, that was a big one yesterday. Gambling. Other drugs / pills. And the last one, what was it? What did I say? Gambling. Alright. I've got a €15 gambling budget every week, if you want to know, out of curiosity. Maybe you don't care, or you do, but that's actual fact. $15, not €15, $15. Why can't I move it higher? Like, oh, hello. Alright, that's good. Alright, that's perfect. I don't know if you can see the yoke on the way back. What do I mean on the way back? I don't know if you can see it on the replay. Right, I'm gonna get my MacBook over, do a bit of study, and I will talk. Is that no vote? I tell you, it's so hard to see. Alright, let's get into it. Some research paper or some study. Let's do it. Strange time to stream, is it? I don't know. I gotta be here for the next. What time is it? I got 2. I need to be here gone by 2. Alright, I'll be here till 10 to 2. Alright. Home. Hello. First viewer. That's nothing, don't worry about that. Alright, okay, what we need to do? Education, fantastic. And then let's go. Which research paper should we do? Where are they? Give me links. If you want help, say it. Wonder if there's any votes there. No votes. That's great. It's great when you see viewers. I tell you, you get excited. It's great when you see them. No? That's a lovely vote. That's a lovely. I appreciate that. That happens. I want to know if you can vote for more things at once, or you can just vote once. Can someone let me know about that? I see you've just voted. I appreciate you. That's a pretty big one, unfortunately. It's happening. I think I might need to pull up my stream here. Seven watching. You already won. Right, how do I mute that? What's that little buzzing noise there? I don't like that. What's that little buzz? I don't like that. I think it's just the phone charging, in fact. Alright, any other votes on that? I got 2, I think, on the O. 2. Struggling. with addiction, comment, and I'll help you. Excellent. Excellent. I love it. All right. Oh, give me links to the studies. Let's read out some studies here now in a minute. This is a good way to get practice and also possibly help people if they come into the stream. All right. So the Journal of Addiction Medicine has tons of studies on here. Let's see which one we will be able to dig into, and then we will start reading them together. Opioid use, cannabis use, comorbidity. What do I want to research? What do I want? Oh yes, I'll get some music in the background. Let me just do a little test. Perfect. Perfect volume. Alright, we're live. We're so live. Right. Symptom triggered by alcohol withdrawals. Okay, let's look at something to do with withdrawals. Let's search withdrawals. Something we can learn on that today. Still getting used to this thing. So. All right, withdrawals. Something not too in depth. Does cannabis influence opioid outcomes and quality of life among buprenorphine maintained patients? All right, let's search again. Let's look at something around porn because there is a porn, one or two posts there. Porn addiction. Right, sweet. Psychology Today. Psychology Today, journal on porn. Study on porn. Right, here's an article. Should I read this? Should I read this? A few pages. Alright, porn addiction, pornography. Use is a widespread means of dealing with one's sexual drives. More than 90% of young men report watching those videos with some regularity, particularly in the United States. Let's actually see if this audio is all good. Yeah, all good, awesome. And we got a Coke one as well. That's awesome. All right, we'll keep going. All right, many of these videos depict acts that they'd never engage in themselves. In other words, erotic fantasies. On Pornhub, the world's largest porn website alone, well over 90 billion videos are viewed daily by 64 million visitors. I don't believe that. I mean, that just doesn't even make sense. On Pornhub, the world's largest porn site alone, well over 90 billion videos are viewed daily. 90 billion videos daily. That just cannot be true, Psychology Today. Let's just have a little calculator. I mean, of course it is true. I just don't believe that. 90 billion, right? That's just an unbelievable amount divided by 64 million. That just doesn't make sense. That just doesn't make sense. 1.4k views, 1.4k videos they're watching per day. That's on average for the 64 million visitors. That doesn't make sense. Jesus. Right, okay. 26 of those 64 million visitors to Pornhub being female. There's an interesting statistic. 26, 80-20 distribution there, 75-25 of course. Although viewing erotica is nearly ubiquitous among men, some men and women regard watching internet porn as pathological and believe that time spent doing so may be a sign of porn addiction. Well, if you're watching 1,400 videos a day, that is unbelievable. That this study has blown my mind. Alright, although such diagnosis is rejected by many psychologists as treatment approaches based on addiction models. Right, let me read that again because that just went over my head. Normal. Although such diagnosis is rejected by many psychologists as treatment approaches are based on addiction models. Alright. The debate over porn. Many individuals worry that their own partner or a partner's use of pornography is pathological. And if you want to know what pathological means, we can easily get a definition there. It's related to pathology, it's morbid, it's a disease, it's something that is basically unstoppable. Well, I suppose it is a little bit. Is pathological liar would be an example. Alright, neither porn addiction nor sex addiction is recognized in the the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the DSM-5. There you go, there's a fun fact. Porn addiction nor sex addiction is regarded in the DSM-5. The World Health Organization internationally classifies diseases. However, now it includes compulsive sex behavioral disorder, CSBD. This is a Psychology Today study we're doing. psychologytoday.com/porn addiction. That's what we're reading now. Use of pornography leads to the concern of diagnosed patients, but that guide states that the personal distress over sex acts such as porn use based on one's own moral judgment isn't sufficient to diagnose a disorder. Alright, so what they're saying there is that a personal well, that just doesn't make sense. That would be an addiction in my eyes. But that guide states that personal distress over sex acts such as porn use based on one's own moral judgment is sufficient to diagnose a disorder. I disagree with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So, if someone believes that masturbation to porn is immoral, yet they do it anyway, most clinicians agree that itself is not a sign of a mental health disorder. Interesting. So, is it normal to use porn? In surveys, virtually all men admitting to having used pornography at some point in their lives. And nearly as many acknowledge using it within the last 6 months. I've seen a study where it says 98%. 98% of men. So, yeah, fantastic amount. Should parents be concerned about their children's porn use? The widespread access to and use of pornography among, I'm going to start saying that a little bit more because I don't think that P word is going to work. Among adolescents indicates that it is not unusual to be given a teen to use corn. It is not unusual for a given teen to use corn. However, parents and educated psychologists alike have expressed concern over corn saving a de facto sexual education for many young people because it's unrealistic depictions of sexual activities. I can't stop watching corn. Am I addicted to it? Many researchers doubt corn addiction is a true clinical condition. Instead, some research show those people who believe that they have an addiction to pornography may not use it more than others, but may hold cultural or religious beliefs that makes them feel guilty about it. Other researchers have seen that oneself as a corn addict may be closely correlated with depression, anger, and anxiety. When does pornography become problematic? Experts agree that even if porn is not a clinical disorder, an individual's use is a problem if he or she believes it to be one. Well, there you go. That's just a fascinating sentence, isn't it? It's only a problem when you think it is a problem. Experts agree that even if corn use is not a clinical disorder, an individual's use is a problem if he or she believes it to be one. Yeah, so if you're doing it 6 times a day, you don't see it as a problem, clearly that's not a problem apparently. I would say that's obviously a problem. Surveys find that around 4% of men and 1% of women believe that they are addicted to corn. Some researchers believe therapists should discuss clients' cultural and religious beliefs and consider their own before making any diagnosis based on the use of corn. Does pornography use affected the brain? Does it affect the brain? Brain monitoring of individuals who believe that they have an addiction to corn does not show increased activity in the regions of the brain generally are activated by an addiction. When those people view sexually explicit images, instead, some neuroscientists believe that they may be perceived as an addiction to corn, may be manifestation of depression or OCD, of obsessive compulsive disorder. Pornography and relationships. There's no question that porn can create distress for individuals or couples. Corn is a common source of conflict in relationships. Corn is a common source of conflict in relationships. Research finds primarily only one partner has been hiding their use unknowing to the other one, and the other one might disapprove or consider it to be an act of infidelity. Joint counselling can help our partners understand each other's sexual interests, which I would also recommend on that, and negotiate what is and is not acceptable among their relationship going forward. Yeah, good to get a foundation or fundamental thing. All right. Right. But it is more likely, many psychologists believe, that the corn use will be found to be driven by other more critical underlying sexual or relationship issues that need to be addressed. Why does pornography cause some problems in relationships? Researchers find a correlation between corn use and the likelihood of future breakups, but the effect is not necessarily based on the use of corn itself, but whether a partner dissolves it. Psychologists urge partners to discuss potentially divisive issues like corn use before getting married to avoid potential devastations in the future. Makes sense. Talk about it way before you do it than actually doing it. Alright, let's switch onto a book. Will I read this one out loud? I don't think so. Alright. Where is it? Look for the L. See if the audio's working well. Hello, Asmo Gaming. Gaming. All right. Don't be confused. Don't be confused. Be happy. I'd rather you be happy than be confused. All right. Go ahead. What are you confused about? I would love to know what you're confused about. That'd be interesting. Hear what you're confused about. We can reduce this confusion. What's the topic about? Well, the topic is, if you're struggling with addiction, I will help you with your addiction here. I won't be able to solve it, I won't be able to do it, but I might be able to guide you in a healthy direction. So that would be the whole point of the topic. I've just finished reading a little article here on the old live stream. You can check it after the stream. It's about corn addiction, and this is just a personal book. I find that I can do a little bit of extra work while also live streaming, get my watch time up. Alcohol. All right. You struggle with alcohol, and I would ask, how much do you consume on a weekly basis, and for how long has it been a problem? Not just you've been doing it socially, how long has it been a problem for? So how much do you drink? You might say how much you spend, and then how long has it been going on for? These are starting questions that we can build off Asmo. And yeah. Well, Crew song. All right. I want to see your answer. I want to see your answers. I also want to read. Don't know how long you're going to be. So yeah. Hello, Stephen Hickey. That name is very familiar to one of my dad's friends. My dad's friend was named Stephen Hickey. It's great. I don't drink maybe 2 bottles of Jack and D. I drink maybe 2 bottles of Jack Daniels, and I've been drinking a while after my pops dad. You mean your pops died? That also happened with me. My dad passed away, and then I became an addict. I became cocaine addict, porn addict, gambling addict, and then also, you can almost call me an alcoholic as well. I know the things you're suffering. So how long ago did he pass away, Asmo? Sad to hear that your dad passed away, of course. And I truly hope that 6 months, yeah, that makes 6 months ago is quite recent, yeah. You're in the thick of it right now. It took me about 3 years to come out of my addiction. So yeah, two bottles is a lot right now. Have you considered going to get help? Because I could tell you about grief. Grief is a fantastic thing to talk about, and this is exactly how you're dealing with your grief right now. Yeah? Imagine you do drink 2 bottles of Jack Daniels a night, which you do, and you don't ever heal this thing in the background, right? Your dad, you buried your head in the sands. You're not addressing it. You're not looking at it. You don't want to speak about it, although you have now. You don't like it at all. What's happened? Well, where am I come from? It costs to get help. Of course it does. Of course it costs to get help. You might be also, depends where you are from, Asmo. Depends where you are. You might be able to get some sort of assisted help, which could be a lot cheaper. Right? Even if you have workplace, they could also have in the government. Those things could help you. But the aspect of grief, my dad passed away. I buried my head in the sand. I used corn, and then eventually I moved on to alcohol, and then it was cocaine. Now I just buried my head in the sand, didn't address it, didn't look at it. It was still over there. But in 1 year, I didn't address it. I zapped the energy out of rooms. In 2 years, I zapped the energy out of rooms. In 3 years, I couldn't hear the voice. I couldn't hear the thought about it. I wouldn't want to hear people speak about my dad in that regard. But as time went on, I went on to this side of the coin. This side of the coin was much healthier because I did. My old memories of that, it was the worst thing in the world. You might be thinking it's the worst thing in the world that your dad passed away. You might be thinking you can never move over this. You might be thinking that on a deeper level. I am Irish, Stephen Hickey. Yeah. On a deeper level, you might be thinking those things. But I used to think those things. My dad passed away. It was the worst thing in the world. I could never get over it. That's what I used to say. Then it moved on to, that's awesome, Stephen. Love that. Where are you from in Ireland? And where I moved to was, my dad was a role model. It's almost a blessing he passed away. It was actually, he taught me how to be a step up to the plate. I have good memories that I have there associated with my dad. The devastation is still there. Mine and your dad is still passed away. But I've got a different mindset, much healthier mindset, and I don't need to cope. I don't need to drink. I don't need to use because it's in a healthy bracket in my mind. Now, that just doesn't happen over time, but if you go get help, Asmo, it would speed up the likelihood that you would actually get support. you would get to that mindset instead of waiting years, unfortunately. So yeah. Stephen, where are you from in Dublin, in Ireland? So I am from Dublin, by the way. And do you have addiction? That'd be interesting. Maybe you voted on the old poll there. Oh, there, jokes. All right, Asmo, I appreciate you for saying true words, but even if they are true words, action does need to be taken right now. So they could be the best words in the world, but if nothing changes, nothing changes. And sir, if you drink 2 bottles today and 2 bottles tomorrow, nothing will have changed. Actually going to get the help will have changed. So I would love for you to go get some help in some way, shape or form and help you get from that old mindset into this new mindset. The sooner you do it, the faster you'll get into that mindset. And I wish I got help sooner. I do wish I got help sooner. Although, again, my mindset on it is that it's a blessing now. I'm looking at a lovely blue sky here. A plane. What a beautiful moment. I appreciate you, Asmo. And if you have any other questions or thoughts or ideas, you know, sad you're spending, what is it, $30, €30 or something on a Jack Daniels bottle. You're spending 2 of those, 60 times 7. You're looking at like 42 euros, is that right? 420 quid per week just on Jack Daniels. I think that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But very sad that is. If you have other questions, thoughts, Asmo, I would love to help you with them because it's a very serious situation. Dad has passed away. It's devastating. I know. I've been there for the exact reasons I've been addicted was those things. So yeah. You're very welcome, Asmo, but I really would love to see you in a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. I'd love to see you again, say, look, you know, things changed and I don't drink 2 bottles anymore. I drink 1, and that'd be the best thing that I'd read over the next coming days, weeks and months. And getting help will be a massive step for you to do that. What else could we say around it? The alcohol, yeah. I don't know if you probably are just doing it on your own. I mean, 2 bottles, nobody's probably going to stand you drinking 2 bottles. You're probably drinking to oblivion. So you probably isolated yourself from a lot of your friends recently. It's not good things to do. Not good things to do. Some things you could do like that is text one of your friends, say, hey, look, I'm struggling with this thing right now and I do need you to come over and talk to me about getting help. Or if you've got, where's your mum? Is your mum in your life? Please tell me you've got a good relationship with her, because if you don't, we're really putting on extra layers to why you'd struggle with this, honestly. But I appreciate you, and I would love to hear that a change has been made in your life and you're not using 2 bottles anymore. Stephen, where are you from? I only got my brother. Damn. What happened to your mother, Asmo? And what's your relationship with your brother like? Is it good? Very interesting. Very interesting. That's awesome. That's awesome that you wrote it out. Are you both drinking together? Is that also a thing? Because both of yous, if you're drinking together, you'd only be fueling each other's, unfortunately, even though yous are the best of the best. Or I should have put alcohol as another option, but you would be a, your bro doesn't, that's awesome. Your bro doesn't drink alcohol at all, or doesn't do it 2 times a night like you? Which one of those? That's interesting. Because there's an old story. The old story is that, you know, you grow up, right? There's 2 kids and they have a father. The father is someone that goes to factory work and he comes home and he's an abusive father and he just drinks alcohol and he's throwing stuff and having fights, and he's great that he's clean, by the way. But the father's, you know, he's an abusive father. He's destructive. He's fighting parents, smashing windows, glasses, all this stuff. The 2 sons growing up. One son grows up and he goes to become abusive, aggressive, smashing the glasses, smashing the plates, and having arguments with his partner. The kid now growing up having fights with his partner, and someone asked him, why are you like this? And he said, well, because my dad was like this. And then you got the other son that's over there, and the other son is successful, clean, doesn't drink alcohol, in a loving relationship, very healthy domain, things going well for him. And you go, why are you like that? And he said, well, because my dad. Both of them have this image and this role model, and they have this understanding. And it's a fascinating adventure. Your brother's clean, you're using, how come we're on this track? How come we're on this train? And I wonder how we can get off this train track. Asmo, it would be, again, Beautiful, fantastic, great to hear. Where are you from? You mentioned that it costs a bit of you to get help. I wonder how much help does cost in your country. If it costs a couple of euros, I will chuck in. Yeah, I will actually chuck in for you to make a little bit of a change. I'll help you. States, you live in the States, all right? You pretty sure it costs either a ton in the States, like a ton. BetterHelp is obviously an option, which is like in my mind, I think it's $60, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's $60. But yeah, it would be a good option to get some help. Can your brother help you? Are you working? I mean, how can you fund this for yourself? This is like it's like it needs to happen. It's not just it should. It sounds good. Like you actually need to go grief counseling, grief help, and the addiction is going to be. I appreciate you. I mean, there's no one else here to talk to, so I'm definitely talking to you. Grief counseling or addiction, your addiction will come down immensely. I can't explain to you. You've got a massive hole in your mind, in your brain. There's a massive just cave. You've just lost your dad. Think of how fundamental your dad is when you're 1 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old. That's awesome. Maybe you can get help off her. Maybe you don't like her or whatever, but you can get help off her. You know, your dad is a fundamental thing. Your mum's a fundamental thing in people's life where it's just like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Everything, every single moment, every single day, that person's there with us. Yeah, do go see her. I would love that. And then this person's gone. What happens in the brain? A massive hole, and now we need to refill the hole. How are we refilling it? For you, unfortunately, it's with Jack Daniels. Unfortunately, for me, it was with corn back then, and then it came alcohol, and then it became drugs, and then eventually it became none of those because I changed my mindset on the thing. My dad passed away, so therefore I had a healthy outlook. So yeah. Text your brother. I would give you an action right now, as well. Text your brother saying, "Can I have a meeting with your wife?" I would do that, and I would push you to do that. That would definitely be a proactive step for you to take. All right. Get ready and see my bro like. Oh yeah, it's early there. You on the East Coast or West Coast? I'm gonna get ready and see my bro awake. Honestly, it will change your life, and it will be a good decision that you do reach out and get that support. It will change your life. Although, and by the way, some people, yeah, for sure, go ahead. If you're going, yeah. Some people don't know what happens when they go get help. I didn't know what happened, but my mind changed, my life changed. Yeah. It's a fascinating thing. It doesn't feel like anything's happening. We're having a conversation here. Nothing feels like it's changing, you know. But when you go meet a counselor, you will sit there, you will talk, you'll leave the room, and you'll be like, okay, well that seems like a waste because nothing's changed. I'm still walking to my car after having the meeting, but actually you would have walked down a different pathway than you normally would have. So instead of I need a drink, you're gonna go, I feel like I want a drink. I feel like I want one. There's a big difference between I need one to where I want one, and slowly but surely you get from I need a drink, I want a drink, to I don't really know if I want this, you still drink, I don't really know if I want this, to where I actually don't want one, you're drinking, and then you actually get to a place where I don't need this anymore, I don't need it anymore. It's easy to say I don't need it anymore, but emotionally, I'm not thinking about moving my hands right now. So that's my subconscious mind, I'm not thinking about moving my hands. So clearly, with all of this expertise, we need to ingrain it into your emotional mind. So I appreciate Asma, I appreciate you very much. Text them, tell them you're coming to get help today. Let's see this poll. I got a few options here, but looks of it. gambling ones. Fascinating. Really cool one. Can new in the stream. Give an L vote over here. I believe it's right there for you. A vote there for the other drugs and pills. I wonder what type of pills they are. They could be something along the lines of street tablets, codeines, or even ecstasies and drug. In the heat of the night. In the heat of the night. Let me actually try change that around. That'd be interesting to see. Hello as well if you're just here. Right, let's that ain't gonna work. Oh, hello. Bad timing. Give me a second and I'll get the old proper setup here for you. Alright, much better. Is that good or is that angle there? Alright, I like that. Let's see what it looks like. Much better. Honestly, sounds like better. I love it, mate. I love it. Alright, we're gonna go to this now. I'll tell you, this is getting better. Happy days. Right, here we go. Check something as well. Struggle with addiction, I will help you right now on this live. Alright, no change. Presentation. Love it. But beyond repair, it's killing your job, all action off. Oh my goodness, I tell you. Hard work doing this stuff. Tornadoes, huh? Get out here. This watch time is what I need, I tell you that. In the heat of the night. Any more votes? Any more votes? Here's an old Chinese proverb. If you must play, decide on 3 things at the start. The rules of the game, the stakes, and the quitting time. Interesting. Reading, man. Why is reading one of the hardest things in the world? I gotta go here in about 2 minutes. It's coming up to 2 o'clock. Well, 4 minutes away. Ooh, freaking reading, man. Hey, here's my mate. Give me a sec.